Opposition movements from all over the world come here, to the Serbian capital Belgrade, to be educated in the art of overthrowing a dictatorship. The Serbs have used their experience 12 years ago to form a revolution training school, the Center of Strategy for Non-Violent Resistance, or for short, CANVAS. Chief Instructor Serdar Popovic is one of the few CANVAS members who would show his face publicly in front of the camera. It was here in his office that the Egyptian revolution was planned.
The trick is that you don't push, you pull. What you're actually doing is actually persuading these people from the police force, from military force, that there will be a place for them in the new Egypt.
And it isn't just Egyptians getting trained in the art of revolution here.
The part of our work now is focused back to Middle East because of the few reasons. First of all, the struggle is not over. And we're already talking about 8 or 9 different countries. In some of these countries, which I of course wouldn't mention, we have very good groups which we are communicating with. We don't want to endanger these groups, so we wouldn't speak about this openly. In some of these countries, we are just observing situation and preparing analytics. It is very interesting what will come out.
Cairo in early February. The sudden appearance of the wild horsemen at this demonstration shocked the world over. Storming into the crowd, they split the peaceful demonstration apart. Yet what seemed like a brutal attack by the Mubarak regime was actually a staged affair, intended for the national and international media. The message? Egypt is in a state of chaos. Provoked by these false attacks, demonstrators reacted with violence and the situation escalated. Right from the start, the revolution consultants follow a specific strategy, a strategy developed by the Serbian organization Otpor. This organization mobilized millions of people to bring about the downfall of Serbian leader Slobodan Milosevic. Their strategy became a blueprint, proving successful once again when used in the revolution in Egypt.
The institutions that support him, you take those away, the regime has to fall.
Otpor organized workshops in the outskirts of Cairo. In these workshops, we were trained in the art of peaceful resistance. We had to learn that the police are not our enemy and that we must try to get them on our side. We had to impress people with the idea of non-violent resistance.
The institutions that support him, you take those away, the regime has to fall.
Amirim izin verin de şu arkadaşlar yetişsin. Ben vallahi bu ülkenin buğdayı.
the institutions that support him. You take those away, the regime has to fall.
Kaç saattir ayaktasın? 66 saat. Hiç uyumadın. Hiç uyumadın. Nasıl dayanıyorsun? Mecbur, ne yapıyorsun? Niye mecbur? Ekmek parası. Bu insanların biraz olsun haklı olduğunu düşünüyorsun.
Belki siz haklısınız, belki biz haklısınız. Herkesin görüşüne aynı da olabilir, farklı da olabilir. Bana güvendiklerinize güveniyorsunuz.
Güvenirim, neye güvendiğine.
The institutions that support him, you take those away, the regime has to fall.
Despite the internet, the revolution trainers spend most of their time traveling to countries in need of a well-organized resistance. Just in the past year, Serda Popovic has flown over 100,000 miles. His inside knowledge and experience is his capital.
One of the tricks is making everybody busy. Okay? Because when people are busy, they don't have time to be afraid. Sounds crazy, but this is exactly what they do in the military training. Okay? So the way you're doing it in nonviolent struggle is actually you create this group identity. You want people to feel each other. You want people to be dressed in a similar clothes. You want people to sing because songs make them work together. You want to have drums there who will give the rhythm to your march. You want whistles, you want music, you want fun. This is a very important part. And now it looks like a big, how do you call it, love parade.
The Egyptians followed Serda's rules exactly and succeeded. The whole world was watching as the people celebrated on Tahrir Square.
You want people to sing because songs make them work together. People to sing because songs make them work together.
It was here, outside the Belgrade parliament, that Otpor's influence began.
How many countries you were working with that after this?
We worked with 37 countries after the Serbian Revolution. We had a successful 5 revolutions now before Middle East. And this is Georgia, Ukraine, Lebanon, Maldives, and now Egypt and Tunisia. And the list will grow longer. And then at the end, we don't have an idea in how many countries the clenched fist of Otpor was used. It's probably a dozen countries right now.
After Milosevic's downfall, Otpor became an international phenomenon. The symbol of the fist reappears all over the world as the signature of the revolution makers. It re-emerged in Kamara, Georgia, followed by Oborona in Russia, then in Venezuela and Iran, and most recently it was used by the opposition groups in Egypt.
What Mr. Sharp one time called nonviolence as a method of warfare. And they are going in every place since the end of the Cold War to destabilize regimes which offer resistance to this larger agenda, the globalization agenda as Washington defines it.
So are all of these revolutions actually initiated by the Americans? We can look back at what happened during the Orange Revolution in the Ukraine for evidence. The events that took place in Kiev in 2005 appear to endorse this assumption. Traditionally, Ukraine was part of Russia, but by the end of 2004, the tide had turned. The United States pumped millions of dollars into the opposition movements in favor of regime change. We are meeting with the 2 former leaders of the Ukraine Revolution. Just by being a member of the opposition movement Pora, they received significant sums of money, together with training in civil disobedience. Finally, they were given the book. Oh yes, the book by Gene Sharp. We all used it, and it connected us with everybody, with Otpor in Serbia, the opposition movement in Belarus, and Kamara in Georgia. It was in November 2004 when hundreds of thousands of people flooded Independence Square in Kiev and demanded Viktor Yushchenko for their president. At the end of the revolution, the crowd got what they demanded. Yushchenko became president due to the massive support he received from the Western world.
We had a number of great examples of dramatizing as well as having fun on the streets.
The revolution is a celebration. This is the spirit of Gene Sharp. Every movement becomes a brand with its own symbolism. Oranges in Ukraine, the Rose Revolution in Georgia, the Tulip Revolution in Kyrgyzstan, the Denim Revolution in Belarus. All different symbols, but with the same concept and the same sponsor, the United States of America.
In my case, in 2004, I was heading a voter education campaign with a budget of $1 million.